If I ask instead of
July 2024. I just sent out my first campaign. In the mix, there was one person I thought I might be in over my head. I listened to the music. Each song moved me. This was the next thing in music. Is it possible? Elly, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and give the 15 Minutes of Fame community a chance to get to know you as we have come to enjoy your music so much. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I love what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Last year, you were one of the first artists to submit music for a review as you began the release cycle for If I Ask Enough, Could You Love Me, which was an EP that you released, as well as also, if I remember correctly, it was a project for your school. Is that correct?
Oh, no, yeah, no, it wasn't for school, but I did have a performance in New York of it.
Maybe, okay, maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I was remembering.
yeah. Yeah, we had like a big live performance with all the instruments and everything in New York City, which was super fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And so in that album, you tackled issues of battling your own perfectionism. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and the process of making that album with that in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So most of my musical life has been in classical music. And when you're classically trained, there are a lot of right and wrong ways to do things. And you develop really wonderful skills when you're in that kind of a situation. But when it comes to creativity, it can be really stifling. And I think a lot of my journey towards who I'm becoming and embodying as an artist, in shedding a lot of my training has required me to really face the perfectionism monster that's in my subconscious. As I create, there's a little voice in there that is it's a weird amalgamation of all of my teachers mixed into one. And the fear of what all of my teachers in this one giant blob would potentially think about the decision at hand. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's a total projection. I don't even know what those people would actually think or believe, but the structure in my mind is that there are these ways to do things. And so every time that comes up, I have to be really mindful to like hold that and help it feel safe and be like, okay, like I understand you're trying to protect me from feeling ashamed if this is quote unquote bad, but I truly, as a rule, don't believe that there are bad sounds. And so I just kind of have to like reassure that part of myself that every sound that is coming through me is on purpose and is safe, and that I have the wisdom to choose the right sound for the right moment, depending on who's in the room and depending on what the song needs, and that moving from there won't lead me astray. But it's really hard to do that in practice. Like the self-deprecation, the self-doubt, all of that comes in really quickly. And then particularly with vocal sound and vocal color, because, I've spent probably 15 years of my life listening to every sound I've ever made on a recording and picking out what's wrong with it, to make it sound a certain way. And now this music that I'm making now, I actually want it to sound kind of the opposite. Like I want more I want it to be more like my speaking and more like my my heart instead of like creating a beautiful sound just for the sake of the sound. I kind of find beauty in the rawness. And so allowing that rawness to come through and letting it be, you know, imperfect, which I don't believe exists, is is really the challenge of a lifetime. And I think I keep finding new layers of it. Then it comes into the writing and the chord progressions and the way using instrumentation and the decisions I make in the live arrangements and all of that and the tour that I'm doing right now, I'm focusing on very intimate venues like flower shops and bookstores and record stores and things like that. And there's a fear even there in the perfectionism of like, oh, but then am I ostracizing people? Shouldn't I be trying to get more people? Like, but it's like, no, like building small, meaningful community is what we're trying to do right now and trusting that and oh, but then I have to figure out my whole sound system and I might mess it up and then having to be like, no, but we can handle that. We can figure it out. We can take one step at a time and get what we need and do the things, so it creeps into every part of it. It's not just the music making. But yeah, that's been a real journey. It's a continuous journey.
Sounds like it's a process, and I can honestly relate to a lot of what you just said. I too grew up with classical music primarily for most of my life, and actually I've seen a couple places. Do you play the violin?
I have a violin and I do play it. I don't know if how good I am at it, but I do play
Okay.
it.
I didn't know. So I know. So you mentioned, and I know that you are an opera singer, classically trained opera singer, which is phenomenal. Like I've actually listened to some of your work in opera as well too. But I'd seen you. There's some video clips of you like playing a violin and things, and I was like, oh wow, did you? Because my first instrument. I played the violin. That was my first instrument that I was trained on. And you talked about having all of your past teachers and instructors in your head. My first teacher was my mother, so imagine having that compounded.
You
So
got the family karma in there too.
yeah, exactly. So you got the teacher's voice, which also happens to be your mother's voice. Just
Yeah, your basic means of survival.
exactly. Exactly. But you kind of hinted on, that battle of, finding those perfect elements in classical music, which, playing the violin, there's a incredible amount of precision that comes to that instrument, which I'm thankful for because it gave me the refined ear that I have. It really helped me develop my ear. But going into, when I was in college and, in my 20s and early 30s, I was a rock performer. And there's a certain amount of imperfection that's not only allowed, but kind of desired in that style of music. So trying to find, that correlation between those two things was a journey for me as well too. So I can definitely relate to, like those elements of trying to find the imperfect moments and, like playing the different venues, the unexpected venues, and what's it going to sound like there, and, how's this full rock band going to be able to, produce music in this, little bar, or like we did like a couple side stage things or whatever, that it was just like, wow, you want all of our sound to come out of this little PA. All right, we'll see. But so that's really interesting. I love how I can really see like a lot of correlation there. That's really cool. Now, you've got another big project that's coming together. You've got an LP release that's slated for the spring of 2026, which that album is going to be called Seventh Gate. Is that correct?
Yeah, the seventh gate.
And you've already released a couple songs here. So we've released Lysianthesis. Am I saying that correctly?
You nailed it. You nailed it. Well done.
And then even with the light on, that was the one that just came out. And now we're getting ready for a third song. I'm not going to talk about that one yet. We're getting ready to, but can you tell us a little bit about your first releases for Seventh Gate and about Seventh Gate as a whole and what this project means to you?
Definitely. So the seventh gate is really my public embodiment of mysticism in music. I think that since I started singing when I was very little, music has always been medicine to me.
Mhm.
And I just have known that forever. And it's something that wasn't as conscious until I started creating music as Elly Kace about 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's only been 5 years. 4 years. Wow. Okay, 4 years ago. Yeah, it was a really big pivot. And the music that it's like every sound that is created in space has this intentionality behind it and this power behind it that heals the bodies in the space with that sound, whether it's conscious or not.
Mhm.
Um, but it's been a part of my experience for a very long time. So this album is really me owning that more deeply, sharing what it's like for me to feel connected to people who have passed on through music, to feel connected to the energy of the room through music, to feel connected to the planets and yeah, it's kind of an admission and a an attempt to be courageous in sharing about this so that other people who feel similarly connected feel safe to also offer whatever medicine they're supposed to offer. Because I feel like the world needs a lot of medicine right now. Um,
Absolutely.
and so if we're not feeling safe to be weird and share how we have medicine to offer, even if it's in an unexpected way, then a lot of that gets lost. So I'm trying to create safe spaces for people to acknowledge the connections that we can't necessarily sense with our senses as we're used to. So part of this is like sound we hear with our ears and we hear the music and we hear the words and all of that can really move us and be a very cathartic emotional experience for our brain and for our consciousness. But sound is vibration above all else. And so even if you aren't hearing the sound or the words, you're feeling the vibration. And whatever is being sent on that vibration is literally changing the cells in your body. And this is like scientifically proven stuff. And I could talk about it for hours. I'm actually writing a book about it right now because it's super interesting to me.
To buy that book.
Yay. Well, good. Tell everybody. Um,
Will do.
but um, but yeah, so that's the medicine that I offer is that intentionality on the vibration. And when I work with my band, we spend time doing sound meditations together to really be feeling what the song is meant to be feeling, so that it's not just playing the chords right, but it's feeling the feeling in a specific way, so that that's what's being sent. And so the seventh gate is a very intentional, but mainstream um, version of that. Whereas like a lot of my past music has been like towards the more experimental side of things, which I really, really enjoy. But the seventh gate, my intention is to offer the medicine to the most people possible. And so each song is meant to be like a very comfortable listening experience and like a very like something that you feel good to have on so that the medicine can kind of come in, it's like a spoonful of sugar, Mary Poppins vibes, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that it's more accessible to everybody else. And you don't need to be like excited about experimental music to partake in it. So I'm super excited about Lizzie Anthesis is like one of my favorite songs that's ever come through me. I really do believe that all the songs that I produce just literally I'm like channeling them. I'm not actually I'm not trying for them. They happen. And Lizzie Anthus's, I wrote this song during a music video shoot for my last record. Like I was like on set with my video team, like creating videos for a completely different thing. And it just happened. And I kept having to take breaks and like write the lyrics down and like hum the melody and the chord things into like my phone. And I had never done that before. Like usually I'm home when I'm like, in a creation mode, but it was just smacking me in the face. And so
I had to do it. Yeah.
yeah, it was like, I have to do this right now. And so I literally wrote the song over the period of the 6 hour video shoot on my phone and then ran home and like put it into Logic as fast as I could, the bones of it. And then when I brought it to my co-producer for the Seventh Gate, Ziad Asrar, we had so much fun just like bringing it alive. But basically, Lizzie Anthus's is a song about radical self-love, which is what this medicine is, this acceptance of the self. And Elisianthus is a flower, and it's a flower that is really, really hard to grow. But once it blooms, it lasts like 4 times as long as a rose. And every single one of them have very intricate like frills on the ends of the petals. And so each flower is like really individual and specific unto itself. Sometimes there will be flowers with like 2 bulbs and like sometimes 3. But yeah, and I don't know, a lot of releasing the perfectionism and owning my mysticism and the medicine I have to offer is also about embracing the parts of me that I learned to sort of stifle to make other people feel comfortable through my whole life, right? So like I was always told when I was little that I was a handful because I was very sensitive and very passionate. And so I kind of stopped showing that to people and like made myself more digestible. Um, and so this song is really about like embracing being a handful of flowers, like that you're a handful, but you're a handful of Lizzie Anthuses,
Oh,
right?
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that song, and I'm so happy it's finally out. And then even with the light on, which just released, is it's like a love song slash goodbye letter to an ex-partner of mine who committed suicide.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and since he did that, it's been so interesting. I feel him around me all the time. And he's trying to protect me, and it's beautiful. And it's loving, but sometimes it freaks me out. So I wrote this song at like 3 in the morning where it was like even with all the lights on in my apartment, I was scared and I felt like he didn't want to leave me alone. And as much as I knew it was a protective presence, like I felt scared. And
So,
so I
yeah.
wanted to like express like, hey, like of course I'll always love you and I'm here, but like I need some space, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I'm living my life now, so I need some space. So yeah, so that's what that song is. And it feels really good to have it out. And it's kind of nice because like since I've released it, there have just been little synchronicities that have come up where it feels like he's happy that it's out too, which is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I really appreciate a lot of what you said. I think, we as people in the world, we're trying to figure out how to get from the beginning to the end. And
Very,
we all, come to different ways of doing that. I personally, I'm not a very religious person, but I would say that I am a very spiritual person. I just don't exactly know what that quote unquote spirit is. But I feel like humanity and the world that we live in is sort of this network, just like a nervous system or like the internet, like everything is just linked and connected to one another, like to the trees and to the animals and to each other. There's just these connections that we feel. And, like some of these connections we're more drawn to than others, and so on and so forth. And we have these distractions that dull our senses to these connections, and it's so important to try to re reestablish them, because that's really what I think is the most important thing about this life is honing in on these connections and trying not to distract ourselves from them. And I really liked how you talked about, finding energy and finding energy through music as a medicinal source, and finding like this planetary bond, this orbital sensation that, in the grand scheme of the universe, you can feel it internally as well too. I think that's really beautiful. I love the analogy that you used for both of those songs, Lysianthus's being a handful of flowers. And it just, I really felt a connection to you explaining that, because I feel like I was similarly a lot when I was a child, and to hear you say that, like it brings a new connection to that song. And then even with the light on, that one, I didn't, in listening to the song, I don't pick up on the meaning of lyrics as quickly as a lot of people do, just because I get drawn into melodical performance, and I'll focus on that before I'll focus on lyrics. And so now hearing the meaning behind even with the light on, it just it's so much more resounding now. Like I can't wait to go back and listen to it, honestly. Like it's just, I think that's phenomenal. Um, and now we're getting ready for our third release, with the third song is going to be called Body. And so you have incredible vocal work in all of your music, but Body is it's particularly interesting in how your vocals and your lyrics cycle through the body cycle in its lifetime. And so what was the process of coming up with that idea? Because I really loved how it was like almost like this checklist that you're going down as you were singing it. I thought it was really cool. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'd say the body is one of the experimental ones on this. I can't help myself there. There's got to be some experimental stuff in there. But it was another like channeled thing. I was out for a run, and I was like just running and just feeling my body running. And I was like, gosh, like we have all these maintenance tasks. And I'm a big meditator, and that's how I connect to truth often. And what you said about these connections we have being like a nervous system, like literally that's what quantum physics has been proving, like that it's just we're all so connected, and these bodies are like radio receivers, and they're just giving us information so that we can connect deeper. And so then it's like I was thinking about that, and like, on my run it's like, gosh, but we have to care for these bodies, like we have to like brush the teeth and feed them and like do all the things with them and move them, and we've got this whole like list of things we need to do to keep this vessel operating so that we can do our work here for whatever period of time our consciousness is on this plane. And so I was thinking about that, and it just kind of came to me again. And it was like I was running. I made the Google like doc thing where I have one Google Doc thing called Truths I Know, and I just like dump lyrics throughout my day, and it's a whole mess that I sort through later. But I just like wrote down all the things that I do with my body just in a giant list. And then I came home, and I like played with some like I knew I wanted two sections. I was like, there's going to be the body section, which is like this, the mundane, the sacred in the mundane, but the mundane, right? Of like the thing, doing the thing. And it had to be really rhythmic and really like repetitive and like almost oppressive in its structure. And then I wanted the second section to be more about like releasing the mind. And so the lose my mind sections are much more open and free. And it's like all of a sudden we're in this weird, like I don't even know what kind of space, and like random, is this a melody? I don't know if it's a melody. So I didn't even write anything for the Lose My Mind sections vocally. I just was going to improvise in the studio. So I just did like the chord progression and like the sparkliness of it. I was like that. I know that's what I want, and then we'll figure out the rest when we get the musicians in the studio and when I'm there. So I wanted that to be really, really free. And yeah, and then I brought it again to Ziad, and the two of us, like, just Ziad is such a wizard with textures and like helping me find the texture that I want. Like I'll know the impulse, and because he's such a great engineer and producer, he'll hear what I say and be like, "Oh, let's try this. Let's try," you know. So we built the world of it kind of together in that. But the vocals and the loops were the same from day one. And I just like re-recorded them to make sure they matched the vibe. But yeah, and that like rhythmic, like polyrhythmic, like, you know, confusion of just like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that to keep this thing operating.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can it's cool to hear how these processes are coming about, like because the cyclical pattern of running and like how that activity could really just kind of like blueprint it out for you. Like that's really interesting. I love that. Sounds like did you say his name's Ziad?
Yeah, Ziad.
Yeah. So co-producer, it sounds like he has a lot of hand in kind of like also structuring everything along with you as well. That's really amazing. Um, so shout out to Ziad. Wonderful work.
Yeah, he's literally a dream. He's absolutely the best. And the last project that we did together, Object Permanence, I had come in with like a lot of things like done, you know? But after working with him, I was just like, okay, I'm bringing all of my bare bones to Ziad, and it was a true collaboration this time, which
Absolutely.
is so beautiful to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so in addition to being a phenomenal musician, you're also a yoga instructor and sound healer. How do these things fit into your music?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. That's so kind of you. Um, it's all the same to me, to be honest.
Yeah,
They're all the same. I mean, every yoga class I teach, it's the same. How can I be of service to these people in front of me? What's the medicine? How do I offer the medicine for the moment? And it's all from the same place. It's just different tools, you know? But I will say that my yoga practice and my meditation practice are the reasons that I started writing music. And for my body, I have to do those things to
sure.
be clear
Mhm.
as a vessel to create. And I don't think that what I create would be the same without those things in my life. So I think that they're one and the same, but also as a person, like, you know, there's Elly that channels, and then there's Elly who's like a being who has a life. You know what I mean? Like, so as Elly who's like a being that has a life, like if I don't do my yoga and my meditation, I can't access that other Elly who's
Yeah,
channeling and performing and being of service in that way. So those tools are necessary for me. It's like brushing my teeth and taking vitamins. I can't not do it.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting you said they're kind of the same. And I've often looked at life as, life is music in that we live out a melody, and along the way, we have harmonies that are implemented and woven into the fabric of what our existence is. Harmony could be a relationship, it could be a career, it could be a passion, hobby, whatever. And but we are living our melodies, and these harmonies are incorporated within them. And I think that you could honestly say, like, in your melody, like your harmonies could be music and sound healing and yoga and meditation and those other areas of your life that are your passions and stuff. And so, yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. I really loved how you said that it's all the same because it really is. It's not you doing these things. These things are a part of you. So these things are you, and it's your outlet that, brings you to doing them. And I also I can see the analogy to the medicine, how it's medicinal. It's not even an analogy. It is, it's what it is. So I,
That's such a beautiful way of looking at things. I really love that. And
yeah.
it's actually really synchronous because I was just in the book that I'm writing, like the whole reason the book is going to exist is because every single person in the world has a signature vibration
Mhm.
that is true unto them.
That's
And,
cool.
and we need each other. Like, I can't do your job here.
Yeah,
You can't do my job here. And
exactly.
so I need you whole and authentic and healthy and free, the same way you need me that way, and everyone on the planet that way.
Yeah.
Right. And so your voice is a way that you can tap into what your vibration is. And so the analogy I used in the book or metaphor, I don't know which one it is. I'm not smart like that. But like it's like every single person has a particular part to play in the symphony of what existence is. And if
Mhm.
absolutely everyone thinks they're supposed to play clarinet, it's going to get really out of balance.
Yeah.
Right? We each have our own instrument that we're supposed to be, and
Yeah,
that's
can I
how a
get
symphony
oboe?
works. Yeah. Yeah. We need all the things, and we need everyone doing their part and feeling happy and healthy to do their part. And so like that, I don't know, I just think it's really interesting that you said those words and I had just written those words yesterday. So I wanted to just like bring that forward.
Network. It's the network.
It's the network.
I love it. All right, so let's see here. Um, okay, so now I want to talk to you a little bit about the tour that you're on. So, as you're going through the release cycle of your music, you're touring different parts of the Northeast and Midwestern parts of the US. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And so, what's the feeling like having the music put out there in a live setting for audiences to respond to?
Oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. Oh, because okay, so one of the things about an Elly Case show is that you're gonna sing, like you're not gonna leave without singing. I will come and bother you in the audience if you don't sing. And I tell people, like, even if you have to grunt or if you were told in second grade to like pretend this is your time to shine, like, because what you're doing when you sing is you're vibrating your vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is the thing that helps you feel safe to like create emotional memory and to like feel safe to feel your feelings. And when you vibrate your vagus nerve with other people vibrating their vagus nerve, it like makes you feel safe to feel in community and to be yourself in public. Right. And we used to have like groups where we would sing all the time when, people were really into religion or were really into like, choir and stuff like that. And since religion has become really ostracizing for a lot of people and the arts are getting cut in schools, now we're not having these reasons to sing with each other anymore. And it's
Sure.
almost seen as weird. Like it's like this strange, like, because it feels really vulnerable. So I make it a priority that all of my shows are safe spaces where for people to sing. And so I make everyone sing with me. And I swear, having people sing the chorus of Lizzie Anthes's with me, it makes my heart explode every time.
Yeah.
Just to like feel that and just like and to see like a city after city, like everyone doing it and feeling safe to do it and enjoying it. And I get messages from people who are like, oh, I'm still singing it. It's stuck in my head tomorrow. You know what I mean? And like, just like that is so beautiful that this thing that I felt was supposed to come through me then can give something to someone else's real body, like that they're actually making music with it. You know what I mean? Like it's like that is everything. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And yeah, and that's a part of also why I've been prioritizing more intimate environments. Because sometimes when you're at like a really loud venue with the speakers blaring, like you can't hear the other people singing with you. And that's one
Yeah,
of my favorite things about it at like the bookstores and the record stores is like you can hear everybody singing. It's just like,
yeah,
oh my
absolutely.
God, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's really when you talked about having people sing at your shows, it reminded me. So one of the things that I love about your social media presence is you are very open about sharing some of the experiences that you've had on tour and playing and doing live performances and things. And I think I can recall a few months ago where you actually did share a moment where the instrumentation had dropped out and people were just singing, and I was just like, holy cow, it gave me goosebumps. I just got goosebumps actually. Yeah, I was just like, wow, like that is right. Like I remember seeing that video and thinking, man, like just that is connection on such a profound level. That is what we are seeking as human beings. And you had it in that room. And in the video, I think it was taken from like an upper deck perspective. So you really got the just the audible potential that that room had. You were hearing it in this recording, and I just was like, man, I was jealous of every person in that room that got to be there. Like,
Oh,
oh,
well,
I get
you'll have
every
to join us soon.
yeah, Chicago. It was I think that one was maybe Chicago or New York. That one might have been New York, actually. I think it was.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I make them do it at every one, so it could have been anywhere.
Well, I have a kid that actually goes to Loyola, so I'm gonna have to bug him to go to one of your shows when you're in
Oh.
Chicago. So
Yeah,
he
on August 7th, we actually just announced we're at Judson and Moore on August 7th.
he's not gonna be back in town yet, but I'm hoping that you're gonna be doing another one up in Chicago. Maybe I can go up and visit him that weekend, and we can go to an Elly Kace show together. I would
Oh my God, yes. Yes, let me know. Let me know.
absolutely,
If I
absolutely.
have a hookup, I'll use it for you.
Yes. I'll take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just I love the unique approach to your shows. I'm not sure what you call the bowls that you play that, but like just the different elements of instrumentation that's incorporated. Of course, you know, the live vocal performance. You're a wonderfully talented singer, and just to hear all of those things implemented together is just really great. And it sounds like you also, speaking of networks, have a wonderful network of very talented musicians that you work with. You know, I've been thoroughly impressed by your drummer that I've seen you often use, as well as the upright bass player. Like just some really great musicians, and it's really coming out. You know, as a musician, it's very difficult to recreate something that you recorded in the studio in a live setting. And I found that you've taken the approach to doing some different things in both settings, like embracing the differences, and it's giving different interpretations of the music that are just equally wonderful. And I love it. I think you're on a direct path to something extraordinary.
Thank you so much for saying that. It's very hard work, so it's really like really affirming to hear that it's coming across that way and it feels so good to do. And I have to shout out the incredible players in my band because they're amazing. My drummer is Aaron Edgecombe, my bassist is Isaac Levine, my guitarist is Jack Broza, and my keys player is Nate Adams. And music is all about community and all about connection. And you can't really do it alone. You can, but you can't. Like you can't. The audience affects things, you know, even if you're solo with a guitar or whatever, every spirit in that room is affecting the sound. They're a part of it. So it's like to be able to share my vision and then have it be just like sprinted with by these incredible people with these incredible skills is such a gift. And I feel very lucky all the time. And that they're willing to come and be like, in a random bookstore with no sound system with me and help me figure it out.
We're gonna make this work process.
Yeah, we figure it out together, and it's just I'm very, very, very lucky. Yeah.
Well, I think the cohesiveness is extraordinary, and I'm just really excited about the success that you guys are having, and looking forward to the rest of these releases to where the world can hear Seventh Gate. I'm not too ashamed to admit I've heard the whole thing, and everybody's going to be stoked about it.
Oh, yay. I hope so.
I'm not gonna be giving out any spoilers, but Seventh Gate is incredible. I can't wait for it to be put out in the world, and I loved actually seeing If I Ask Enough, Could You Love Me? You actually charted on it was like a college radio airplay chart or something. I would expect that you're going to have the same type of success and reaction with Seventh Gate. I'm honestly hoping that you can expand from that, and I'm hoping that more people will be in touch to it, because as great as If I Ask Enough, Could You Love Me was, I really feel like you have really evolved and got to a deeper level with Seventh Gate. And I'm really excited for the rest of the world to hear this project because it's so brilliant. And you and I were talking earlier about how, sometimes it's pretty difficult for independent artists to compete with, mainstream musicians and things like that. But one of the advantages we have in the 21st century is the network access of the internet, and the fact that, 25 years ago, it might have been a little bit difficult for, people around the world to hear Seventh Gate, but now they will be able to. And I am a firm believer in, if you put the right music in front of the right people, like, they're going to listen. It doesn't matter if nobody knows who Elly Kace is. They should, but maybe they don't. When people hear Lysianthesis or Body, they're gonna continue to listen because it's extraordinary music. So you've done wonderful work here. I'm so excited to watch it unfurl for the rest of the world to hear. And I just want to thank you so much again for sitting down and talking with me today. And I just wish you all the best.
Oh my gosh, Jeff, thank you so much. And honestly, like, I don't even care if people never know who I am. I just want the music to find who it's meant for. You know what I mean? So literally what you said, that's like, it's so just validating and affirming. And I just really, yeah, I'm just intending that for this project, that it finds who needs it. And we're definitely going to be sending to college radio again, just a little closer to the album release. So fingers are super crossed. And I just, again, thank you for having such a cool conversation with me and holding the space for me to share who I am and be myself. It means the world.
Well, you might not care about how many people listen to this, but me personally, I want the entire world to have the medicine, as you said. So,
well, thank you.
Everybody take your medicine.
Yes, vitamins.
Vitamins.
Yes. Vitamins.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Elly, and we'll chat with you next time. I do want to say before we jump off here, everybody, so the great thing about this interview is this is going to be part one of a special feature for the release for Seventh Gate. We're actually going to be doing a 4-part review for this album. What? Are you kidding me? It's crazy. So we're going to be, in the next few months, we're going to be talking to and hearing from and talking about Elly and this wonderful project quite a bit. So this is a big deal, and I felt like it needed to be treated as such. So this is part one of the release of Seventh Gate. Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4 we'll talk about later. One of them is going to be a written review. There's going to be some more interactive things that we're going to be doing with some of the parts as well too. Elly's going to be along for the ride for all of this as well too. So we're really excited to be rolling out this special edition review for Seventh Gate, and I want to thank everybody for stopping in and basically, just being a part of this conversation with Elly and I. And Elly, again, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Can't wait to spend more time. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Seeds the size of stars, only blue. Undisturbed lower the lights, he lover. The summer nights you warm. Ba 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 da ba ba ba. Ba 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 da ba ba ba. Tender perennial. Let's add some sugar to the water. I've been told I'm not miss you when you're gone. I do. But it's time I moved along without you. Sugar plums are sour and sometimes people change. Cinnamon and ginger close the seventh gate. The salt in your sweet tears can stay. Tonight I'll leave the light on, and I miss you when you're gone. I do. But it's time I moved along without you. We cried at the same room when you called to say I'll always love you. Now I'm casting spells to keep your soul away. Candles in the window glow to feel away. The moon still stings my heart today, even with the light on. And I miss you when you're gone. I do. But it's time